we are doing this as we continue our previews of UFC 294 coming up this weekend. The top two names on this list, spoiler alert, are going to be names that are prominently featured on this UFC fight card. So I thought this was a good time to introduce the pound-for-pound rankings, and we will be updating them appropriately. I'm looking to get rankings out for all of them, for all the divisions, but for now, well, we're going to stick with pound-for-pound, and just whenever rankings change, we'll be doing those on Fights and Football Fridays. So we start at the bottom, and again, we're doing a top 10 here. So we're not starting. We start with fighter 658 on the UFC Power Rankings. We've ranked all of them. No, we are starting there, and it's another fighter who's going to feature prominently this weekend as Kamaru Usman moves up to 185 pounds. He gets the number 10 spot. The former welterweight champion of the world basically beat everyone at 170 pounds. He gets on this list. There's a bit of these lists that is absolutely kind of like, it's a mix of what have you done lately and what does the main resume say. I do favor, as you'll see a little bit later on, I do put a lot more stock into the here and now than what they've done longevity wise. So number 10 is Usman. Number 9 is Max Holloway, where he has beat everyone but Volkanovski. At 145 pounds. I'm interested to see what happens at 145 once Volk if he does move up permanently to 155, or where does he go? I think that's going to be interesting conversations for Max Holloway. Pantoja is next, the bantamweight champion of the world, moving into this spot. Moreno probably would have been a little bit higher had he not lost, but Pantoja, championship holder, deserves to be on there. After that, it is Sean Strickland, probably a little high on this list. There might be a little bit of crediting, kind of moving what Izzy did into Sean Strickland's spot. He might be a little bit high on this one. His next title challenger is going to be figured out after Saturday night. At 6, it is Charles de Bronx Oliveira. Again, he feels like he is one where he's beat everyone except for the main guy at his weight class, and that feels like an insurmountable feat, but he still is someone who has such an amazing resume. I think he deserved to be on this list. At 5, it's Sean O'Malley, a star-making performance against Aljamain Sterling, and someone who I feel like maybe overall resume, I might have him a little bit high, but fight skills, I don't know if I have him high enough. At 4, it's Leon Edwards. He has championship wins over someone on this list. He deserves to be up there. At 3, it's John Jones. That's more lifetime achievement than current, although a couple of big wins in the heavyweight division certainly make it feel like he is back to being him. And it'll be interesting if he puts a stamp on Stipe. Does he move up in this? He probably does, depending on what happens Saturday night, because 2 and 1 are both fighting at UFC 294, and they're facing each other as Alexander Volkanovski comes in at number 2, Islam Makhachev at 1. There are a lot of people who I see have these flipped. I think you still have to put Makhachev at 1. Even if you dispute if he won or not, I feel like pound for pound and rankings, you do have to go off of the actual results on paper. You can't, oh, well, he should have beat him, so he can move up a little bit higher. Those are a couple of things, but for number 1 pound for pound, I think it has to go on what the judges did tell you, what the official results were, and the official decision was Islam Makhachev by decision. So he gets the number 1 men's pound for pound spot on the inaugural Couch Potato Diary UFC Pound for Pound Rankings.